exactly a week ago, in the lead-up to City's Champions League opener against Inter Milan, Rodri spoke in depth about the need to manage the schedule better.
Yeah, I think we're close to that. I mean, because it's easy to understand. I mean, if we're asking something, and I think it's something general, I think you ask any player, he will say the same. It's not like the opinion of Rodri or whatever. No, I think it's a general opinion of the players. And if it keeps this way, it will be a moment that we have no other option. I really think. But let's see, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's something that worries us because we are the guys that suffer, so yeah.
Yeah, and this might be a naive question, Stu, but I mentioned earlier on that he actually hasn't played much this season. 135 minutes for Arsenal and 59 minutes for Spain, and he'd had pretty much 7 weeks off after the European Championship final. How is it that footballers suffer so much, whereas, for instance, in a sport like tennis, where they might play for 4 or 5 hours every other day, twisting and turning as well, that they don't seem to suffer ACLs in the same way?
It's just the contact situation. Yeah, I mean, it looked fairly innocuous, him going down, but there was that contact, I think, with the Arsenal defender. I'm not suggesting it had anything to do with this injury, but the contact just unevens you a little bit. And the pace of the game is ferocious this day and age in the Premier League, without a doubt. It's that quick. The twisting and turning, but
do you think the surfaces might have anything to do with it? Because they're all very firm now,
the firmness of it is probably the one thing I would say. Listen, it's a contact sport that we play in. Injuries are always part of it. I probably missed, maybe in the 19 seasons that I played, I probably missed 2 years maybe if you accumulated all the soft tissue injuries, the broken shin bones, the groin injury, and a couple of knee operations. And that will probably be average, I would suspect.
I mean, there are too many games, aren't there? And yet, football authority. Well, I know you love to play, but football authorities introduce more and more. We've got the Club World Cup coming up. Yeah. At my level, National League, there is now going to be a National League Cup, pitching in National League sides against under 21 teams. 6 or 7 clubs, including mine, by the way, have said, we're not interested. We're not playing in that. Yeah. Because there seems to be a never-ending desire from the authorities to create more and more games.
Yeah, I think they put a games programme out there, obviously, for a multitude of reasons, sort of financial gain, all of those type of thing, and for the want of people wanting to go to games. The crowds are up. They want to go. People want to see football on a regular basis. I would say the onus is certainly on the managers, and maybe... the supporters and the owners of clubs as well have to cut the managers a little bit of slack, because the managers are the ones that pick the players. So Rodri doesn't miss games. When he's fit, he plays. Haaland doesn't miss games. He plays all the games. But the 2 biggest stars that the world have ever had in football for the last 30 years, in Ronaldo and Messi, if you look at the games that they've played, they want to play all the games. They do not want to miss games, and they've played probably more games than any player.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, Ronaldo and Messi were almost ever present, weren't they? Absolutely brilliant. They wanted to play, and they did play. Let's take some calls, shall we? I think we're going to go to Ricky, who's an Arsenal fan, first of all. Morning, Ricky.
Morning, Jeff. How you doing, pal?
Yeah, really good, mate. You?
Not too bad, not too bad. Just a quick question on the Haaland ball throwing incident.
Yeah.
I heard you say that you didn't really mind it, and I heard a clip of O'Hara saying he loves it. That's what football needs. I reckon if Gabriel did what any red-blooded human being would normally do in that situation and gave a reaction, he'd be giving his marching orders, would he not? I just want to know if you think that would be fair, because you seem to think it's all right for Haaland to do what he did. So if Gabriel reacted...
Depends what reaction was, doesn't it? Right. Depends what reaction was. If it was a harmless reaction, as it happened, during the course of it, Gabriel, he didn't know who'd thrown the ball anyway. He barely felt it.
I've got a feeling as well that Haaland's thrown it at Gabriel. He singled him out to throw the ball at him because he probably felt as though, he's had a few niggles during the game. I watch Gabriel play, whenever I'm covering Arsenal, and I like the way he plays the game. He's quite aggressive. He tries to be aggressive with the players he's playing against, leaving a little bit on them every now and then. I don't mind that.
Ricky, did you honestly want to see anybody get punished in that incident?
I just want some fairness in the game. And I know for a fact the only reason Haaland did it undoubtedly is because Gabriel couldn't see him. He had his shirt over his head and he was facing the other way. He 100% wouldn't have done it in his face. I'm sure of that. And I do think if Gabriel knew that Haaland had did that, he would have turned around, chased him, gave a push. And Haaland, being a footballer of today, would have fallen on the floor like he just been shot in the back.
Okay. Ricky, thank you very much indeed, mate. We'll have to agree to disagree, but thanks for the call, mate. Let's move on. Another Arsenal fan, Jack. Morning, Jack.
Morning, guys. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, really good. You?
Morning.
Yeah, not bad, thank you. I just want to touch on the Haaland incident, really. I don't actually think he should get any punishment for it. Yes, it was stupid. Yes, it was childish. But at the end of the day, it was harmless. But more of what I'd like to talk about in Haaland is his behaviour after the game. I thought that was more wrong than giving Gabriel a little bit of a knock on the head.
In what respect?
The way he was going off at Arteta and telling him to be humble, I don't understand why he was telling Arteta to be humble. He had to go at youngster Miles Skelly on his Premier League debut saying, who are you? And his former teammate, Gabriel Jesus. I'm not sure they actually played together, in fact. But I just don't understand why he was so rattled after the match.
I think it's probably, I'm not here to defend him. I just think it's probably still just a release of tension, isn't it?
I think probably the adrenaline of the late equaliser potentially, but humility is one thing you have to show, especially when you've achieved what he's achieved in the game, and it is the icon of the game. Humility is the one thing that probably... I'd be really disappointed with players. I've been told when I was a non-league player by league players playing in the FA Cup, get back to your 9 to 5. And you look at people and you think, come on, that is the biggest day of my life playing in the FA Cup first round, cut us a bit of slack here, fella.
Jack, thanks very much indeed.
Okay, no worries.
I just got a text. It's not the same thing, but Manchester United fan in Northampton, Spanky, says, what makes me laugh is the inconsistency. Nobody's really talking about the incident at the Blackburn game against Preston at the weekend, showing the young player on loan from Liverpool's Beck, wasn't it? Showing the referee being bitten, then the referee sent him off. Well, he sent him off, obviously, for a completely different incident. But what was shocking, I thought, in that is that the young boy went to show the assistant the bite mark on the back of his neck, and the assistant was totally disinterested, utterly disinterested, didn't want to look, didn't want to know. Doesn't do the reputation of officials any good when things like that happen. However, one more very quick call. Chris, the Arsenal fan. Morning, Chris.
Morning, guys. Hi, I'm a first-time caller. Love the show.
Thank you, mate.
And all the talkSPORT shows. I just wanted to say a couple of things, if that's okay. Based on what Mark said earlier on about giving the referee a decision to make about Trossard. Absolutely, I agree with that. Yes, you can argue very quick reaction from Trossard, blah, 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 but he gave the referee a decision and he got sent off. However, looking at the Doku incident, saying it's not the same, look at the Joao Pedro incident against Brighton. Look at Dominic Szoboszlai against Nottingham Forest. Are those not the same incidents? It's not about being against Arsenal, it's about the inconsistency.
Yeah. And I think everyone would say with the Joao Pedro thing, it was a mistake. It was wrong. He should have been booked for booting the ball away. But that doesn't, as you rightly say, that doesn't give the Arsenal player at the weekend the sanction to be able to boot the ball away.
Absolutely. But this is what Arsenal are frustrated with. You're either going to, punish everyone or punish no one. And like I said, there's so many incidents in games like this. You're going to end up playing 10 versus 10, 11 versus 10.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say, I just wanted to ask Stuart really quickly. You said that Trossard could have got a yellow card for the foul before even taking the ball away for barging into Bernardo Silva. Have you seen Haaland's barge on Saliba, where he's going nowhere near the ball? Yeah. Is that a yellow card?
Yeah.
If you want to say the letter of the law...
No, I totally agree. And the last thing, I watched the game and I'm sat there and I'm thinking to myself, the last thing I wanted was any player to go off the pitch, because it ruins the spectacle of two teams that were involved. The first half was a fantastic game to watch. The second half wasn't a fantastic game to watch. And every time you lose a player on the pitch, and I don't want anyone to be left on the pitch. And I think as well, we're going to have to look and say, come on, players, help the referee out a little bit more. And then maybe that will take some pressure off of them and they'll make better decisions.
Chris, thank you very much indeed for the call. This sums it up. Craig is a Wolves fan in Birmingham. He says, oh, for goodness sake, what is all the fuss about regarding Haaland? Is there no fun left in the world?
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.